Hey there guys, it's Tyler, Scallop Cove. Just started a live video up, and all I'm gonna do is drive to Scallop Cove. So if you want to sit back and kick it for the 15 minutes, we'll take a drive out to the store. You can see there was definitely some high water that came into Port St. Joe, but it just didn't get far over the top of the highway here. So there's some debris in people's yards and definitely some standing water all over the place, but nothing too serious. So we're just gonna take a cruise out to Scallop Cove and we'll see what's along the way. And yeah, power stayed on for most of Port St. Joe. Power stayed on for the Cape last night. You can definitely tell there was a storm last night though. It's very obvious. And I am doing this while driving a stick shift, so bear with me if I have to wiggle it around to change the gears. You can see there's just never water here, so you can tell there's a bunch of water where it shouldn't be, but just a really high tide and a lot of wind. See if I can get us a little better view here. All right, turning off onto 30A. Well, here's a little stretch at 30A that you can't even tell anything happened last night. So anybody just jumping on right now, all we are doing is driving from Port St. Joe to Scallop Cove. I got to go check on the store. I've seen photos. I've seen video from overnight. I know some of those first houses between Stumphole and the store definitely have less sand underneath them, and I think one of them is missing a driveway on top of that. So we'll kind of cruise by. I'll slow down there and we can all check it out. Cape Sandblast Road opened back up an hour and a half ago or so, 2 hours ago. I know that off to our left here is the Jones Homestead community. I know that they were without power at some point, or at least one of my employees was there and they lost power last night. So a couple spots had power outages. Look at the water in the ditch, if you can see it. There is just water everywhere. You can see the water line right here on the side of the road where it was up here on the road last night. Look at their pond is the size of their property now. I'm gonna shift a gear here. All right, so we're coming into Simmons Bayou, and I saw a video last night. I got a feeling they're probably mucking out St. Joe Shrimp Company. There had to have been 4 or 5 inches of water in it last night. The waves were rolling through. All right. The bayou is well overflowed. Oh yeah. Yeah, St. Joe Shrimp Company definitely got some mopping out to do, but if I'm not mistaken, Mark Moore, being the smart man that he is, has set that store up to do this. So they'll get it mopped out. There's a wakeboard laying in the middle of the road. That's different. Slow down here and see if there's nobody behind me, so we can. Presnell's Canal is deep. They're not missing the bait shed if anybody's looking for it. It is across the road. They pulled it out, I noticed, a couple days ago, which probably pretty smart, or it would have floated. There's the shed over there. Black's Island, I don't see why they would have a problem any more than this area. They probably have some cleanup to do, but what I heard was the highest recorded wind on the Cape that I was aware of was 52 miles an hour, and that was by our friend Vince, has a weather station at his house on the Gulf side. He saw it hit 52, which I think we had 60 or 70 mile an hour gust in a storm like 10 days ago or 2 weeks ago, so it didn't get too awfully windy. It's not here, and trust me when I say that I am not downplaying the absolute nightmare that happened to the rest of Florida yesterday and last night in Georgia, and it was horrible, horrible, horrible. The video was awful. But we are okay, and we're okay. Actually, we're really good compared to them. Bayou Storage was posting photos all night long. The water's receded now. They have just a little bit of water across the entirety of that lot, which, I mean, you're talking sea level is like, we're not a foot above sea level here. We're there. We're at the water here. I don't see any evidence that big trees had fallen into the road. There's none of that, just pine needles. That water's flowing good in that little ditch. Yeah, you can tell where the water was over the road bad last night. Like right here, there's just a ton of debris in the road there, pine needles and stuff. Coming up on the St. Joseph Buffer Preserves property here. They probably have some water in their yard as well, as everybody does. Totally emptied out though. It's government, so they're vacated everybody. And we've got friends' houses along the left here, all down through here. So I'm so glad. First house here, some friends of ours that just built it a year ago. Looks fine, thank goodness. Got a couple good customers that live right along this section that when they're in town, we see them every day, and man, thank goodness. Oh, there's one of them there. He actually came and moved his camper out and stuff, so good. Glad he did that. It was kind of mandatory, but... I wasn't here, but I would be willing to bet there was a fair bit of water over the top of this road last night, given the water line down the center of it here. There's some sticks in the road here. Yeah, it got high tides. But all of these houses through here are made for it. There's one of our sheriff deputies there. Don't know, could be a couple of them. More friends' houses here on the left. Sorry about the shaky camera. I'm doing this while I'm driving, and I don't have a phone mount that'll hold it up high enough. Road underwater. The sign I think was from yesterday. I don't think there's any road or water on the road here now. That's normally a little pond right there, but it goes for all the road. Yeah, there was a lot of water here last night, gang. Look at that. Other lane of traffic was all the way over there. There was water everywhere. Oh, there's stuff everywhere. All right. Turning on to everybody's favorite version of the 30. the E version, 30E. Here is Salinas Park. Everything looks very normal except for some debris on the ground, so awesome. Lots of water. Lots of water. Cape's favorite bar, looking no worse for the wear. The love for Scallop Republic. There's definitely some cars out running around now. You can tell people are getting back to it. Well, I think we're all eagerly anticipating arriving to Stumphole. I know that I am. I've seen photos this morning, so I kind of know what I'm getting into, but they lost a little bit of concrete, but not much. The stuff they laid under the concrete is still there, it looks like, so I don't think they lost much. Just a little shaving off the shoulder of the other lane, I think, is what I saw in the photo. Seen another 40 or 50 people join, so we are driving from Port St. Joe out to Scallop Cove. What's funny is 2 cars ahead of me is our beach sales rep that sells us all of our chairs and umbrellas and boogie boards and all that. And he already came from Panama City Beach to come check on us. Gerald's of Pensacola. You guys know how to take care of your customers. Beating me back to the store. You'll see water on the trail here, and I'm not gonna lie, that happens every time it rains, so this water doesn't look that abnormal to me. It was a lot more water on 30A than I'm used to seeing, but this fills up quite a bit, these little parts of the trail here. Here we are at the Eglin Air Force Base's radar installation out here on the Cape. Oh yeah, there's more water here than I'm used to seeing. That's a little lake. That's a lot. So you can see the water line. It got deeper, or it's receded quite a bit, it looks like, this morning already. All right, here's the last bend in the road before we see how Stumphole did. Or I guess before you guys see how Stumphole did. I have, in fact, seen some photos. I saw video throughout the night, on and off. I didn't share the video. It was an evacuation zone, so I don't want to put anybody out there. But there was a few folks on the Cape last night, and I was in touch with a couple of them. All right, here we are at Stumphole, and I can already tell that they got big construction equipment out here. That ain't a Bobcat. That is a full-on bulldozers and stuff. Oh, we might be sitting here for a minute, gang. Yeah, so it is 10:45 a.m. and they are actively repairing the damage to the road already. these dump trucks, I see 4 of them right now. Those are all full of sand. They are patching this thing up right now. Man, these dudes are awesome. Look at, if you guys can see it, I don't know, can I zoom while this is doing this? Yeah. I'm gonna keep playing the live, guys. I thought we'd be able to just drive on through here, but we'll watch the DOT or Gulf County guys do they thing. Look at that. Dumping that in there. It's my favorite parking lot on the Cape. I get to pull somebody out of there about every 2 or 3 weeks that tries to park their rental car in that little lot and gets stuck. Hopefully they'll let this batch of cars through here before too long. I can see waves and water still kind of splashing up in the air down there. Ooh, I'm getting a slow connection warning. Is that a concern to anybody? I don't know. Is it working? Thank you for bringing us sand and dirt. Sorry guys, I had to plug my phone in. Hi Nikki. One of our old employees just jumped on here, and Nikki actually is the one that sent me one of the better videos I saw this morning of some of the houses that had foundational damage or sand washed out from under them, so. I think we're just stuck here for a minute, guys. There goes another dump truck load. Oh, nice. I've got a 7-year-old son as well. Slept on the floor of a friend's bedroom last night. We evacuated. We had to evacuate. A mandatory evacuation. We don't argue with that. But we just went to Panama City to a really good friend of ours' house and crashed in their guest room for the night. Yeah, so Port St. Joe seems like it's all right. There was definitely water up over the highway, but there was no water in my house, and I'm pretty close to the water, so I don't think there's anybody's going to have water in the houses in Port St. Joe. Just limbs and leaves and, you know, wind debris. The typical stuff. We didn't lose power at the store, and we didn't lose power at our house in Port St. Joe at all. I know some people did lose power around Port St. Joe, around Gulf County, but it seems like it was kind of spotty, like it wasn't a widespread thing. In fact, I heard of somebody that lost it a few blocks from my house, which that kind of surprised me. All right, we're going, gang, we're going. All right, let's see what we're looking at here. The chunk of missing highway I mentioned is no longer missing because they just filled it in while we waited. Thank you guys, thank you, thank you, thank you. You can see where they lost that whole chunk of it right there. And the road is a mess, but the good news is it's still a paved road. Anybody that was here for Michael knows that this was not a paved road after Michael. It was a freaking off-road wagon trail for about a week. And it sucked. You can see that, oh, look at that. There's still big waves, guys. Big waves crashing into our rocks. Man, the rocks did what the rocks needed to do. Kept the road here for us. I love that. All right, I'm gonna roll the window. Connect. Oh, hopefully it's still there. Yes.
Shit, this woman just...
Oh, sorry, my radio just kicked on with a profanity-laden podcast. Stop. Big surf still, big waves. So these are the houses that everybody was super, super worried about, and justifiably so. That's not a house. These houses are going to have some issues. I think that was probably the worst of it, are going to be those handful of houses. I know that this house was worried about the framing job on it, and it does look like they actually had maybe some top stuff maybe didn't hold together on it, but all right, guys, we are about back to the store and gonna wrap this thing up. Yeah, here we are. All right, guys, let me hop out and say goodbye to y'all. I think that's it, guys. Thanks for making the drive out with me. You can see the damage on the road. You can see the damage at Stumphole and a handful of those houses that are there right after Stumphole, but the power's on, the road is open. Scallop Cove is not, employees are scattered for 100 miles in every direction, so there's nothing I can do about that. We'll be back open tomorrow, guaranteed, and everything will be back, back to normal operations here tomorrow. Thanks for tagging along.